Like the Windows Store is just a layer of complicated that I would rather have it in the client I have open all the time.
Yep.
Don't get me going on that.
Sure.
My account's been busted on the Windows Store.
Yeah,
I cannot play anything at home.
Really?
Yeah,
Anything?
Anything from
like
the
you
Windows
just can't
Store.
authenticate or whatever?
Gears,
Wow.
Killer Instinct. Yeah.
Well, we were trying to patch a Windows Store game last week for a thing we were recording, and it just sat there and spun and errored out and was lying about the size of the patch.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a 2 meg patch.
I've
It's
had
like,
that exact
the
thing.
fuck it
and
is.
It keeps failing over and over and over, and it just will never download the patch.
So
and then you can't start the game.
I ended up uninstalling almost everything that was installed to the C drive to try to clear more room than this patch would require, and it eventually finished. But it was just like the error messages it would give you were totally nondescript and not helpful. And like, hey, you need 20 more gigs. It was just instead it was just sit there and act like it was downloading forever, like overnight.
I got to the point where I could not download Forza 3 no matter what I did, and it would just keep saying something went wrong.
Yes.
That is probably one of my least favorite new technology things.
I think like the error message was like something went wrong. The problem is on our end. That was the error message.
I hate that.
I
shit
fucking
so
had to
much.
reinstall Windows to get Forza 3 to download.
Like, we
I could not figure out a solution.
We appreciate you assuming the blame right out of the gate. That's it's very nice, but fucking tell me what you did wrong. Hell, give me a solution.
Like saying, hey, giving like friendly English text with like an error code that like, and I feel like a lot of games are doing this now where they don't even have error codes. It's like you got the warped jackal error.
Yeah, right.
Back to the main menu, motherfucker.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, well, now I have to go type warped jackal.
Right. It's like
into the fucking internet.
You can't download Forza because baboon.
It's
and
really,
like, to be
fuck
fair,
off.
like
that stuff's
error codes.
Actually, if it was just baboon, that would be way.
Even if it was a concise error message, I would still Google that. Anyway. I mean,
with my Forza problem, I landed on like 3 situations of like, well, here's a command line string you can use to flush the cache for the Windows Store, and like maybe that'll let you download it, and that didn't work.
Sucks.
Or here's a registry edit. I tried all of those things, and nothing worked. So I fucking reinstalled Windows.
They at the very least need to have a button that's like show more info on some of that stuff on the PC side. And not to say that error codes were ever super great, like they were kind of generic, but like at least if you have a memory issue or you could look it up and find a path.
Like a button that says look up more details would go a long way.
Or even when they would give you like a 10-digit number, you could Google that and usually land on like a knowledge base article or something.
There was a time when I was trying to install Windows 10, I think, and do an upgrade, and it would just give me that blue screen with like the sad face that's like
on the side,
oh shit, or like oops, I'm gonna roll you back to Windows 8, and I was like, what happened? I don't even know where to go from here.
Oops, I just put my boot through my fucking computer tower. Sorry.
It would just be like, it would literally say like, oops, sorry, and it's like, what?
Even the positive messages are bad. Like the Xbox One, upon setting up an internet connection, just says like, it's all good.
And Windows,
fuck you.
Windows 10, when it sneaks in an update, when it's like, no, don't update me. No, don't update me. And it's like, hey, there's an update. You want to update now, or do you want to? Or no, now what it does is, hey, I picked the time to update. Is this update right now, or is that time I picked cool? That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, never. I have work shit on here that can't break.
And then you come back the next morning and the machine is rebooted.
If you're using your machine for work, then you need to tell it it's an enterprise machine with managed updates. And once you do that, then it's or deferred updates, because then it's like the administrator, which is still you, will choose when the updates come in. I'm pretty sure you can set it up that way.
So I think
but you
I
kind of
started
have to
going
set it up
down
for
that
enterprise.
path after about the third machine that was like, I'll just X this out and then come back in the next morning 20 minutes before doing a live show and like go to boot the machine, and it's like, awesome, we're updating right now. It's like, I have a live show to do right now and I need this machine. And then something would happen. It would be like a blue screen, or it would be whatchamacallit? It would be like that fucking message that says, hey, all your shit's cool.
Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't it be? That's the minimum I want for my I didn't move any of your shit.
Your files are right where you left
Fuck
them.
you. Like, fuck you and your OS. Like, that's the minimum I need, is like my files on there. What do you think is happening here? That you're in there deleting? Hey,
we smoked that shit, dog.
Like, hey, I went in your fridge, but I didn't touch shit. Like, it's cool. And by the way,
we babysat for you. Your baby is right where you left it.
Like, what is
I gotta
that?
go.
We moved your files around. Time for a scavenger hunt.
Like, what is that? Like,
Your kitchen's on fire, but that's no big deal.
I don't want my computer even talking to me about what's on my computer.
I've had mostly a pretty good time with Windows 10, but when it does fuck up, it fucks up. And So I went down a bad rabbit hole earlier this week. I was trying to get a Razer Stargazer to work. We got one of those cameras and it doesn't work. Like it wouldn't install the drivers. I tried to uninstall everything, and now when I plug it in, it just doesn't even trigger.
Oh, you don't get
install.
the do-do.
So I would say that I've had better luck with it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I didn't have the driver.
And maybe
issue.
you just broke the camera. I don't know.
Maybe.
No. But that's not the thing. That was the catalyst for me going like, well, okay, maybe Razer Synapse is starting up, and I need to disable that and start up, and went into startup and realized there were like 3 things in there that I didn't know why they were there.
Nice.
And it turns out that thing you gave me, that video thing, Matt, there's some shit with that.
Oh yeah.
So
the converter tool.
Yeah, the converter tool installs some fucking rough shit that I was
really?
like, okay, I don't want any of this adware anywhere on this machine.
Okay.
And then set about uninstalling all of that stuff. And now in my startup list of apps it likes to start at startup, there's just an entry, no icon, just says video. And another one that says program.
And you can't get rid of it.
And they're disabled, so it's like I don't think it's doing anything, but like I think those are just permanently on that list now.
Weird.
Unless I dig, I mean, I'm sure I could dig it out and figure out what it is, but I can't even see what it was pointing to before.
Right.
I uninstalled all that stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's all gone. But like, now that menu is cluttered up with weird stuff that I'm just kind of like a little unsure about.
I feel like Windows 10, I have had to add more third-party auditing programs onto my machine to be like, I can't easily access registry stuff that I used to be able to get in there and clean up as easily as I used to. Like the restricted.
I think PowerShell makes it pretty easy to get into some of that stuff.
I don't have. What is that?
It's a free. It's a Microsoft thing.
It's a
part
Microsoft
of
thing.
it.
You have to install.
I don't know. Do you install? I think it's built in. I think you just have to enable it.
Okay, so maybe I haven't.
It's a bunch of low level admin shit.
Yeah.
Like when I'm trying to find the device manager menus, and I feel like I'm digging through like 4 top level like ones with little sliders that go yes or no, and it's like no man, like give me to the real shit. Like I need driver level.
So I hit the Windows key and I type device, and the first thing that comes up is device manager.
And you don't get the first thing that comes up
the
for
other thing
me.
is devices.
Yeah.
But I've used I've hit down device manager enough times that now that is the first thing that shows up in that list. Like I don't click on anything I don't even use the start menu. I hit the Windows key and type in what I'm looking for.
See, that
and
works
I never
like
click on anything. Like
50% of the time for me. Like sometimes I'll like install Origin on that machine, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll hit the Windows key and type Origin, and it's like nothing. Or on a machine that I haven't disabled it. Want me to search the web for no, the thing I literally just installed, and then I have to like go. Because I usually don't install desktop shortcuts, so I'll have to either dig through the start menu and find it, or like go like okay, programs, 86, and like find it in there. I feel let down.
You should reinstall from scratch because that's broken.
I guess
in a way that like it's totally.
It's happened on like 2 machines.
It happens for me sometimes too.
Weird.
And so like I just installed a different search thing that was just like, oh, awesome, yes, show me everything on this computer that has Origin on it. That's what I want. I don't know.
Yeah.
No more computers.
PCs, who can live with it?
I guess. I don't know. There was a time when it felt like I was always grousing about my OS, but like now I feel like they're trying to tell me what I want to look at, and that annoys me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or shielding me, like, hey, this is cool. Like,
you don't need to see those drivers. That's not important for you.
It's too complicated for you. Like, you shouldn't. Don't worry.
Yeah. I mean,
condescending Windows 10 is the worst.
At the same time, you can install a bash shell into Windows 10 now.
That's pretty cool. I have no use for that, but that's pretty awesome.
You can kind of get deep with that stuff. Like
I guess
you probably have to fight past a couple of layers of them going like, "Nah, for real though, no."
And I guess it's better than Windows 8, but still, every time I go into a menu that has laptop options, that's like, what do you want me to do when I close the screen?
Right.
Like, fuck off and uninstall yourself.
I think they would be able to tell they're running on a desktop and just remove those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Windows 10 power hour. I mean, there's some of that shit in OS 10 too. So like OS 10 as well.
Sure.
That's OS 10 is by no means a picnic.
Yeah.
Computers are bad. Is what we're saying.
It just feels like my computer became an ad service.
Yeah.
I'm going to get way into Linux.
It's time.
Now is the time.
It's the year of the Linux desktop.
What is it? Boxes? Is that the name of that virtualized?
I have no idea. I've never used Linux before.
Quite secure series of VMs, sandboxed all off.
Last thing I want to say about Dead Rising 4.
Yeah.